Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Dear Source, your ascendancy hotline, where we connect in with Source itself and talk about all things, because everything that we came in here to learn and do and be is to learn that everything is a spiritual lesson. It's here for the highest and greatest growth of ourselves, and to connect in with and remember that we are fully human and we are fully divine. And how do we balance that? Because that's what we came in here to do. We don't get to override our humanness, and we also can't forget that we are our soul and that we are divine and that we are divinity itself. So with that, I would ask all of you to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. Get this to who needs to hear this. And let's jump right into the listener that sent me this letter. And it reads, "Dear Source, I've been struggling with the idea of alignment. It feels like when one aspect of my life is out of balance, be it my personal life or my professional life, it spills over and affects everything else. When my personal life feels chaotic, my focus and productivity at work take a hit. And when work becomes overwhelming, it drains my energy and leaves me unable to fully show up in my personal relationships. I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle where one challenge in one area creates ripple that impacts everything else, making it hard to find my footing. How can I come into alignment and create harmony between my personal and my professional life? I want to be able to show up fully in every aspect of my life, but it feels like I'm constantly juggling priorities and losing balance in the process. How do I learn to recognize and honor the connection between these parts of my life without feeling like they're at odds with one another? I know alignment is key to living with purpose and clarity, but I feel like I'm missing something. Please help me understand how to find the balance and move forward with more ease and grace. Sincerely, seeking harmony." So, what a beautiful, letter from seeking harmony. And you're right that one thing I would offer and ground us in and remind us is there's only one of you here. There's only one of you here. There is your soul. And your soul then houses your body. And we have created, our ego has created, our humanness has created. We've also constructed this in society to compartmentalize our lives in different ways. And I remember this distinctly in all my training and my growth. And I never questioned it back in my early 20s. What are all the roles you fill and how do you prioritize these roles? Like being a mom and being a daughter and being a sister and being an employee at the corporation I worked at, being a wife at the time, all the hats that we're supposed to wear. But the shift that I think we all need to make and understand is we're just human beings. And there's only one of you here, regardless of how you show up in relationship with anything else. There's only one of you here. So to show up in relationship as a mom to your kids, to show up in relationship is the employee to an employer. Like everything exists in relationship. And for us to fully understand that in order to be the most activated, fulfilled, engaged human being, vibrating at our highest level of frequency, which is what we came in here to do, that we have to understand that everything, doesn't matter what it is, everything that we're doing is our spiritual lesson and it's for our spiritual growth. And when we understand that we then can't compartmentalize into personal life and professional life. There is no compartmentalization. There's just isness. There is just the vast experience of life that we are being lived. We are being lived by source. So are we showing up as the available vessel to allow source to flow through it, for source to be the cause of our right action, for us to understand that there is only one of us here. There's only one massive energy that we're all a part of, and that we are infinite beings because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. And we're here to learn the lesson of the oneness, of the interconnectedness, and to show up in right relationship with everyone and everything else. There is nothing separate to us. And we're really going through this great awakening right now. On this planet, we're rising in consciousness, just like we've evolved on this planet for thousands and thousands of years before this. We're continuously evolving, which means we are being called into a more heart-centered consciousness, a more awakened and aware consciousness of moving beyond the densities of the first three chakras of our system, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plex, and understanding that we are here to be love. We are here to understand the oneness and act in relationship with that oneness. And the only way we do that is to understand that our humanity and our divinity have to be balanced out. I have to be in right relationship with the universe in order to then receive back what the universe wants to gift me. And so alignment is about understanding everything, regardless of how it's showing up, whether it's through work, whether through personal, whether it's through romantic relationships, intimate relationships. All of it's just lessons. All of it's just isness. And we can't separate anything because we don't exist in separation. So of course it affects our lives because there's just one of us here. So that concept of, I always think about check it at the door, you got to check it at the door. And it's you can't check it at the door because there is no door. There's only one of you here. And suppressing and not having the opportunity and the space to really look at what's going on here, what's going on in my personal life that I really need to look at to come into alignment so it isn't affecting me at work. And what am I learning at work through those relationships that I need to recognize and understand and requalify and align with so that when I'm at home, it's not affecting me there. And we are humans. Everything is existing to grow us. So in that growth, or in that, we have opportunities to learn, to requalify, and to understand that we don't get to place them in a bucket over here. I'll deal with that tomorrow when I come back to work. Typically, how do you feel when you come back to that? Sometimes time or space from that helps resolve it. But oftentimes when we're not looking at it and understanding the impact that has in the whole of our life, it doesn't really work on that. Everything is being presented to us in any given moment for us to look at for our highest and greatest growth. So if I think I'm going to be able to suppress, let's say, something that's going on with my kids or my partner or something in my home life and show up to work and pretend it's not going on, that's actually not honoring of who I am at the core of my being, which is my soul, Like, that's affected. I need to look at that. I need to understand, why is that upsetting me? What's the upset is the recognition of the untruth. Where do I need to look at that? Where do I need to explore what is going on that is not true there, and requalify that back into a loving understanding of what's going on? Again, everything is happening for us, not to us. It's happening for the highest and greatest growth of ourselves. We also contract in here as human beings. Like, we come in with a signature, a specific set of things that we've agreed to go through for the highest and greatest growth of our souls. None of us know that when we come in, because if we did, most of us probably wouldn't come in, because we would think it's too hard. We're probably one of the hardest schools in this universe to learn from, because we're trying to rebalance our humanity, which is beautiful. Being human is the most beautiful thing. We all want to be here. We all come in seeking that. Our souls are seeking to come back in. The second we leave, and in maybe one lifetime, we're seeking to come back into the next. And we want to do it over and over and over again, because there is no greater experience than being a human being. And so when we think about that, we contract in to have all this stuff that's presenting and learning to us. And can we become the observer? Can we understand, what is that trying to teach me? And not sink into, why is this happening to me? It's, what is this trying to teach me? What is my spiritual lesson here? What's the bigger lesson that the universe is trying to gift me? And can you move through this world looking at everything as, what is this trying to teach me? What is my gift here? What is my gift? Because when you're in that space, you're not attached. You're not in victimization. You're not in the kind of woe is me. You're in the, oh, that's what that lesson was. And you can sit in peace and ease, because you can just observe it and see it. And you can learn from it. And as you learn, you're going to continuously grow. And those things will no longer continuously challenge you. So when you feel like whatever's going on, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, you don't get to unmarry those, because again, I'll reinforce it, there's only one of us here. So you can't be divorcing those things, because they're so interconnected, they cannot be divorced. So I would just ask for you, anytime something's coming up, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, get curious. What's triggered in me? What is this here to teach me? What am I here to learn through this? And you don't need to over-identify with it. Truly, I promise you can just see it and recognize it, and then go, oh, okay, I can step into that. And it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful to be in that space, to just be an observer, because it also helps to neutralize the emotions. It helps you understand what's the spiritual lesson in this for me. And once you see that and understand that and can integrate it, then you get to move into understanding that that's probably not going to continuously keep coming up. But if you don't look at it, if you don't take the time to really be with it, and then it's like, well, I got to suppress that because I got to go home, or I got to check that at the door because I got to go into work. No, like finding that time, even if, let's say something's going on in your home life and you get to work and maybe you didn't process it in the car, take 5 minutes and go, you know what? I really want to learn what that lesson is here. What is that trying to teach me? Write it down, journal about it, spend the time with it. And then once you've sat with it and you can kind of clear it and you go, oh, that's what that's trying to teach me. Then you can move into having an ultra productive day and being in alignment and not having that run in the background. Or if something happened at work, spend 5 minutes before you get into the car and go home and go, why did that trigger me today? What's my lesson? What was the lesson for my soul's growth to help me continuously grow and transcend? Because that's the only reason why we even came in here. We came in here to grow our souls, to learn, to activate at the highest level, to become the limitless being that we are, to remember that we are our soul, that we are divine, and everything that's occurring for us is to teach us our divinity and to help us remember the essence of who we are. So take the time so that when you walk in the door at home, it's like, oh, I'm at peace, I'm at ease. Because the other thing I would just remind you as we close this out is the only thing that exists is the present moment. So thinking about the past, worrying about the future, they don't even exist. The past and the present don't exist. The past and the future, pardon me. The present is the only thing that exists. The now moment is the only moment. Our ego, our mind, that's what's trying to trap that. It's just like time. Time doesn't exist. Time is an illusion of our imagination because our ego wants to be able to measure. But all we're doing is here for lessons. So if you look at your life as being measured in your growth, you stop worrying about time and everything starts to happen in divine right order, and you start to release and you start to surrender and you actually start allowing more to come through. So the more you surrender, the more you release control, the more you take these moments and go, what's the lesson for me? The more that you are going to see your life expand in the most beautiful ways because you now understand why you came in here. So if seeking harmony, you would like to have a personal one-on-one session with me to really connect in with this, maybe dive deeper into what's going on, I would love that. Or if there's any listeners that would like a one-on-one with me, please, the link is in the comments. Book. I would love to have you on my calendar. It is such a privilege, such an honor to serve humanity in this way. I love this. And coming in 2025, so much more to come. Could not be more excited for this community that I'm building, where we get to come in, we get to have these conversations, we get to align, we get to grow our souls, and we get to remember that we're an interconnected species here. One, that the way we grow our souls is through relationships. So lots more to come there. So please stay tuned. And until next time, honor your truth, trust the process, and stay connected to Source.